this is Anne from Anne's Crafting Adventures, and I have a great project for you today. We're going to be making these fun and festive cookie sleeves. Yesterday, Lauren and I baked up a batch of cookies and we decorated them to look like a variety of summertime fruits. And we wanted to create a unique way to display and package them. So we came up with this idea to mimic the decorating with these paper sleeves. So let's get started. For the project we're making today, we're going to use these supplies. We have cardstock paper in light green, dark green, white, light yellow, dark yellow, red. We're also using some markers to do the drawing on the sleeves, scissors, Aleene's Turbo Tacky glue is what we used. And then we also have a circle cutter. I've had this for a lot of years. I don't even know if they still make it, but it cuts anywhere from 1 to 6 inch circles in increments of a 1/16 of an inch. So you can pretty much get any size you need out of this. And that's it. We're going to get started with making the watermelon cookie sleeve, but the first thing I want to mention is that the cookies we made were approximately 3.5 inches wide on average, because they came out a little different each one, but they're about 3.5 inches wide. So we use these measurements that I'm about to tell you accordingly. So you'll have to adjust depending on how big your cookies are. But when we made this one, we used 2 dark green circles at 4 3/4 inches, 1 light green circle at 4 1/4, and a red circle at 3 3/4. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to glue these circles on top of the dark green base, and that'll be our top. And this other dark green circle is the back. So this is how it will look once it's glued, and I'll do that in just a second, but I'm going to put this one aside because that's our back. And I'm going to get started gluing. Okay, now that we've glued it all together, we're going to need to cut to size the circle. And if you can see from the finished product, we've cut it a little bit more than halfway. So there's a little bit more of the cookie that'll be inside the sleeve. And what I also did, and I don't know if you can see that here, I've stitched around the edge with a 1/4 inch seam allowance with my sewing machine. And I made sure that these edges right here where my thumbs are were wide enough that my cookie would fit inside. They were bigger than 3.5. I believe this is about a 4 to 4 1/4 inch opening. So what I'm going to do is, you can use your scissors, but I have a cutting mat and this rotary cutter that I use only for paper. And I'm going to line my front and back up. And I'm going to cut. So I go 3 inches from the base, which will get me about 2/3 of the way up the paper sleeve. And I'm just going to make sure it's all lined up properly. And it looks pretty good. And here we have the cut paper sleeve. Now what I'm going to do next is stitch this together, and then I'll be right back and we can continue with putting the watermelon seeds on. And Lauren will be doing that for us because she is our resident expert with markers. So now we've stitched the watermelon. You can see the little stitching here, it matches with the green. And now we're going to have Lauren come in and use this marker to make the seeds. To make the kiwi sleeve, we're going to need 2 dark green circles of 4 3/4 inches, 1 white circle at 1 1/2 inches, and a light green circle at 4 1/4 inch. Now I'm going to glue these together like this, And then we'll go from there and do some cutting, stitching, and we'll add the dots. Here's the completed Kiwi sleeve all stitched up and ready to go. To make the lime sleeve, we're going to use 2 dark green circles at 4 3/4 inches, 1 white circle at 4 1/4 inch, and a light green circle at 3 3/4 inches. Now the first thing we'll do is glue them together. Actually just the white on top of the green, and then I have to cut up the light green to make all the lime wedges. Here is the completed lime sleeve. There you go, all stitched and ready to go. To make the lemon cookie sleeve, we're going to need 2 dark yellow circles at 4 3/4 inches, 1 white circle at 4 1/4 inch, and 1 light yellow circle at 3 3/4 inches. Now this is made exactly the same way as the lime one, and so I will meet you back here with the finished product. Here's the completed lemon cookie sleeve. As you can see, I've cut this one a little bit differently, a little bit on an angle, just for a little extra fun. Here's the original. That one's cut straight across. You could do whichever you want, or even try something different if you want. I hope you enjoyed this one. Next up, we have our pineapple. To make the pineapple cookie sleeve, all you're going to need are 2 dark yellow 4 3/4 inch circles. And with this one, all we do is draw lines on one of these circles, and Lauren will be up to do that. Okay, here we have our pineapple top all ready to go to draw the lines, and what we've done is lined up the circle on the mat so that Lauren is going to follow the 1-inch lines all the way around, both horizontally and vertically, and then once we go to cut it, we'll turn it on an angle so that it'll look like it's at a 45-degree angle. And here we go. As you can see, Lauren's finished drawing the lines on our pineapple cookie sleeve, and I've layered it with the back and turned it to a 45-degree angle on the cutting mat. Now I'm going to cut it, stitch it, and I'll bring it back here to show you the finished product. Okay, here it is cut, and now I'm off to the sewing machine with a 1/4 inch seam allowance and matching thread. Here's our finished pineapple cookie sleeve. Here's the completed cookie sleeves with their matching cookies inside. We think it came out really great, and we hope you enjoyed it. As a little tip, another thing we did is added a wax paper square inside of each sleeve so that none of the butter in the cookies would bleed into the paper. We hope you enjoyed this video today. Thanks for watching. Bye!